Okay, so today is Sunday, December 29th, and today I learned that if you can do something, there is nothing prohibiting you from doing something that is ultimately beneficial, then you should do it, even in the smallest things. I don't know, today I was just thinking, a lot of times we don't want to do things, but what we don't want to do is what we should be doing. And if you can do something that is ultimately beneficial, like earlier I was just thinking, I could work on my YouTube right now. So I was just thinking, if I can do it, and it's ultimately beneficial, and there's not really a better use of my time right now, then I might as well do it. And so I did it. And then this morning, I was just thinking, if I can be happy, there's nothing prohibiting me from being happy, but for some reason, I just didn't feel I felt like I was in a bad mood, but there was nothing that was putting me in a bad mood, and there's nothing prohibiting me from being in a good mood. So I was just thinking, if I can be in a good mood right now, and it's ultimately beneficial, then I might as well just be in a good mood, because there was nothing really putting me in a bad mood. I don't know what I was doing. So, I don't know, that's kind of what I learned today. If I can do something that is ultimately beneficial, and right now is the appropriate time, meaning there are not more important things to do, and it's the appropriate situation to do that thing, then just do it. Because, that's so obvious, but I don't do that. I don't think about that. I was, even in the tiniest things, I was thinking, if I can stand with better posture and be more confident in my own skin, then I might as well. So in that moment, I just fixed my posture and just smiled and did those things that made me feel more confident. And then I was more confident. If you can be kind to someone, there's nothing prohibiting you from being kind to someone, and it's good for the situation. Yeah, it's good for the situation. It's ultimately beneficial. Then be kind to that person. A lot of things we do for no reason, and a lot of things we do just because it pleases ourselves and not necessarily just ultimately beneficial. Because a lot of times we're thinking, is this beneficial for me? But I think we need to flip that mindset to just, is this ultimately beneficial? Is this beneficial for other people? Is this beneficial to the glorification of God, right? There's kind of a few things wrapped in this that I could probably talk about. If you can do something, then you might as well do it if it's ultimately beneficial. Like I said, not just beneficial to you, but ultimately beneficial for everyone. Also, in the right situation, a lot of things, I could work on my video, or I could do homework, right? This is a problem that I have, during school. I'm thinking, I can work on my video, and that's something that I want to do, and it's ultimately beneficial. But is it in the right situation? No, because I still need to do homework, and I can do my homework, and that homework is ultimately beneficial. So it takes into account prioritization. We still need to prioritize our tasks. I'm not saying just do whatever you can do, because we shouldn't just be doing whatever we can do. Do whatever you can do that is ultimately beneficial to everyone. Not sometimes it is beneficial for you, but try to have a more ultimately beneficial mindset. But also, is it just right for the situation, right? If I'm hanging out with friends, I'm not gonna be I'm gonna go read my book, right? I'm not gonna be I'm gonna go work on my video while I'm hanging out with friends, because that's not the right situation, right? Or if I'm again, like I said, take into account prioritization. So don't just do everything that you can do. Do everything that you can do that is ultimately beneficial and is right for the situation. And a lot of those things are kind of gray areas, but I think we can use our common sense to fill in those gaps, right? And then the last thing that I wanted to say about this is that this matters even in the little things. This morning, I was just standing there and I was thinking, I can fix my posture. I can be more confident. And that's just such a tiny change that I made. I literally just fixed my posture and smiled. It was a very tiny change, but it was ultimately beneficial, and it was something that I could do, and it was ultimately beneficial, so I did it, right? So this is something else that I've kind of been learning recently. The small things matter. The small pockets of time matter. The small body language fixes matter. The small words you say, words have power, and a small sentence can change a lot. It can have a massive outcome. The small things do matter. And even the small things that don't have a massive impact on things, they still matter, right? Every single action you take changes the course of your life. It takes you on a different path. You think of like those trees, like the flow charts and like the action trees. Like even if I moved my hand this way or moved my hand this way, those are two completely separate life paths. One path is where I move my hand this way, and the other path is where I move my hand this way. Even though it doesn't really have an impact, it's still a completely different path of my life. It's like the alternate realities thing, right? So even the smallest things matter. Every action you take, even the smallest actions, have changed the course of your life. And that's just another thing I've been learning. So making these tiny changes, whether or not they have an impact or not, whether or not what you are doing, whether or not this thing that you can do that is ultimately beneficial and is right for the situation, whether or not it has a big impact or a very small impact, it changes the course of your life. And you want to be intentional with the things that are changing the course of your life. And if this thing, you can do it, right? You have the resources, you have the abilities. It's ultimately beneficial, not just a selfish, is this good for me kind of way, but ultimately beneficial for the glorification of God and just helpful and loving to others. Right? And is it appropriate for the situation, right? If you have these three things, and if you evaluate, obviously we can't evaluate every single action of our life. And also, it's not like everything that we're doing hits those three things. I'm just saying, sometimes we need to reevaluate. Like I was just standing there, and I was like, I can fix my posture right now. I can fix my confidence right now. So I just did it. And like I said, that changes the course of my life. There's one version of myself where I did that, and there's another version of myself where I didn't do that. And maybe that had a huge impact, and maybe I had low confidence for the rest of the day. You never know, right? We literally cannot know because there's like infinite alternate realities. So your takeaway for today is that every action changes the course of your life, right? It puts you on a separate path, even if it has little to no impact, right? Or if it has massive impact. It still changes the course of your life. So if every action is changing our life, essentially, then we want to be intentional with those actions, right? So what's one way you can be intentional with our actions? There are infinite things we can do in this very moment that you can do. You have no obstacle to doing them. You can do them right now. That is ultimately beneficial, not just beneficial for you, but ultimately beneficial. And you're in the right situation. That's kind of in the same boat as you can do it, right? Just having that mindset was just so helpful for me today. I feel like I thought of it this morning, and I was like, I'm going to try to think of this every time there's those small pockets of time, or every time I'm just standing there and I don't know what to do. What is something that I can do that is ultimately beneficial and it's the right situation to do it? And I kept using that mindset throughout the day, and it was just a nice mindset to have. It just helped me reset. And it helped me, even though some of the things really had zero impact on my life, they were still better things, right? I spent my time better. And then your last takeaway, I guess, would just be the small things matter. Even if they have no impact or massive impact. No effect or massive effect. So yeah, that's what I learned today. If this connected with you at all, if you found this helpful in any way, shape, or form, then definitely hit the like button. I would really appreciate that. If you have any thoughts, tell me why I'm right, tell me why I'm wrong, provide additional input. I would really appreciate that, and I would really love it if you would comment down below any thoughts that you had. If you want to see more videos like these, then definitely subscribe because I'm posting every single day. I believe this is my 163rd, I think, video. I did 100 days in a row, and then now I'm doing 63 days in a row. So I've been pretty consistent with this. I'm basically just talking about what I learned that day and how I'm trying to apply this to my life and how you guys can apply this to yours. So just trying to get better at life, one day at a time, trying to apply what we're learning. So if that sounds good to you, then definitely subscribe. 2025 is going to be hopefully a big year for me, so hopefully I'm going to be doing a bunch of cool stuff, so if you are excited for that, then like I said, you can subscribe. This video is specifically recommended for you, so if you find that interesting, then definitely click on it. You can subscribe in that corner, and yeah, if you subscribe, I will see you in tomorrow's video. Bye!